Good evening, everybody. It's Mike KO4PDI, the ham fun guy. It's time for the podcast. I'm wearing my sweatshirt. I was outside all day today with the puppy, and she was having a blast over at the dog bar in Flagler Beach, and we were enjoying ourselves. And then I got home, and man, it's just the cold gets to you. I'm like, my fingers are wrinkling like I've been in a pool. I gotta do something about that. I gotta drink some more fluids today. Anyway, hey, how are you? We're gonna do something tonight. I wasn't even expecting to do, but a friend of mine, Grant Mosley, has been working on a project for phasing antennas. And he's designed a little box that he's hoping someday maybe to sell it to people, or I guess eventually use it himself for phasing multiple dipoles together on a radio. Not quite sure everything about it and how it works, but we're going to talk about it today, and he's going to come on live in a little while. If any of you were listening this morning, I said I was going to try to do an ISS pass right at the beginning of the podcast here at 6:08. But according to Don told me, hey, Ed, how you doing? I see Ed's on there. Don told me that the ISS was going to be down. And I remembered they were going to be shutting down the radio for some, spacewalks that are coming up with Sunny. Sunny's getting to do a spacewalk. She ought to get to do a spacewalk. My God, she was supposed to be up there 8 days. She's over 8 months now, and she's not going to come back until March maybe. They were originally supposed to come back in February, but now it got pushed off to March. All kinds of stuff like that's going on. So anyway, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna hook it up and see if we can hear anything. He's still got about 1 minute and 45 seconds before it rises, so we'll try it. What the heck? Grant is going to come on. Grant Mosley is the gentleman. Oh, good. Roger's watching too. Kilo Victor 4 India. He's here. And anyway, what's going to happen is the ISS is supposed to come over in a few minutes. I'm going to select it. We'll switch to the SAT page just for a minute. And, what happened to my camera? I shut off the camera for the tower. Let's get that on. First thing that's going to pop up is the dog, probably. Let's go. Yeah. The dog's in here now, though. There's the antenna from the wide-angle shot, and here's the zoom shot. There you go. Now you get to see that. And we'll listen in, maybe. Hey, maybe we'll get lucky, and there'll be something there. We got it's marked as 1 minute and 44 seconds before it. I'm sorry. What does this say now? It's supposed to be an 18-degree pass at 6:08. Time to go, it says 3 minutes. Okay. That's weird. Up there it says 1 hour and 43 minutes. That ain't right. Well, wait a minute. I scrolled. That's the next pass. This pass is going to be 18 degrees. And we got 2 minutes and 55 seconds until it rises. We don't need the headphones yet. Yeah, it was good to get you, Roger, on the ISS, and that was really cool. That's too low for you? 18 degrees is too low, huh? Okay. Well, that's right. You use verticals. I forgot. So, yeah, what we're going to talk about tonight, I have Grant coming on. As a matter of fact, he's in the waiting room. I will admit him into the Zoom call. So, Grant, I don't think the ISS is working. Can you hear me, Grant?
Yep, I can hear you. Let me get my video up.
There you go. Can you turn your camera horizontal? It'd be better. And I won't. I changed my mind. Why is that? Why? Oh, and you disappeared. He turned off his mic and he turned off the camera. I guess he was resetting.
Hold on, no, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I clicked a button. There we go.
All right, you're on the screen, but you're vertical, but that's all right. You got your camera sitting on something? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's not changing. Why isn't it changing? You guys can't see Grant. Grant's trying to get his camera hooked up. You want to see what I'm talking about? Here's Grant trying to get his.
There we go.
Hey, you got it. You're the man. All right, I can make that bigger too, because you're gonna be the only guest via Zoom, so people on YouTube can see you. All right.
Wait a second.
Hold on a second. All right, Captain Don. Let me go live. I'm streaming. Why isn't it showing up on YouTube? It's click live. All right, yeah, it's showing up on YouTube. I'm looking at it on YouTube, Don. All right, Don. No more technical advice unless something goes really south. Chime in the chat and let me know. But all right, so what we're gonna do? I'm listening for the ISS to pop up. When it does, I'm gonna see if it's on. It's probably not on at all. I'm guessing. Yes, there's a delay, Don. Yes, I know that. All right, so the ISS is supposed to, there's the chirp for the ISS. I doubt the repeater's on. It's probably not. I'll just keep an eye on the waterfall while we got you on here, Grant. I'm not even going to turn the volume up. I'll just keep an eye on the waterfall on the radio. If I start seeing signals, I'm going to put you on hold and I'll go on there, try to do a pass. So, Don, I mean, God, I've been talking to Don so much on Zoom, I keep calling you Don. So, Grant, first of all, thanks for the great deal on the Wemo antennas, because I love them and I'm really having a good time with them. I don't know if did you see how I updated the tower after I got the base fixed?
No, I haven't seen the complete update now.
I could show you a camera view. Let me see if I can I wonder if I can get it on here. See, the problem using Zoom, I get you on here perfectly fine. You hear me okay, right?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine.
Okay, I just hope if anybody on YouTube is listening, does Grant sound good to you when he talks? Somebody's tell me in the chat. Well, first of all, Grant gave me a great deal on these Wemo antennas, and I'm going to switch the view. Oh, this is so confusing because I'm moving my mouse on this screen and I see it here. It's on this screen and I'm seeing it on here thinking it's over there. It's confusing. Like right now I got my mouse over by Grant and I think it's on this screen. I move down, it disappears. All right. Ignore me. I'm just having a little thing. Grant has very low audio. Grant, give me a long count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Keep going. That's a short count.
5, 6, 7.
How's that sound? Better? Roger's saying you had very low audio. Roger, was that better? I turned them up a little bit. There's a delay. So when I ask them the question, they don't hear it for 10, 15 seconds. Hello, Internet. Who's Shay? Hey, Shay, welcome to the party here. Yeah, they're quiet. Grant's audio is very low. Man, I am telling you, this is the hardest part about doing this, is getting everything to work right. All right, cancel that. Advanced audio properties, that's what I need.
If you hear random knocks on my door, don't mind that. That's probably one of the kids, especially my youngest.
Wow, Grant is super loud with me. How is that? Better? Andy Cowley is... Hi, Andy. How you doing? Andy Cowley's saying your audio is very low.
I don't know how to turn the audio up, or I
would.
No,
you don't have to, Grant, because I hear you fine. Oh, all right. All right, you sound good. They're all saying it sounds good now.
Okay.
All right. So, Grant, these phasing cables you were talking about. By the way, I'm watching the VU meter, and nothing's happening on the ISS. There's no audio on there right now at all, so you're good. I would hear them if there was people on there right now. So, Grant, what was the point of building these phasing cables that you built? Like, how is this put into practical use when you want to use it?
Okay, well, so
the whole project, well, we'll start from the beginning. So the whole project stemmed to I don't have a tower for the low band, but I have space. I have 33 feet of space, and I can put up a vertical, or two verticals, or two dipoles, either or I could do. So there was a thought there that if I did that, I could put up a phased array. And so the benefit of that is I can get a little bit of gain forward, a lot of front to back if I went with verticals, or a lot of gain forward and and very minute front to back if I went with dipoles. And that's kind of where the project stemmed. Now the method I use is the Chrisman method, which is 84-degree feed lines and a 71-degree delay line, and those are going to be quarter wave or quarter wave resonant on the frequency they should be.
And why are you doing this now? Because you said you don't have enough room. You don't have a tower. So by doing this with dipoles, how is this going to benefit you?
So I'll get front to back, and then I also get forward gain, just like a Yagi, right?
Okay.
In more common practice, this is more common with verticals. That's why if you like ever hear the term of a 4-square array, those are 4 verticals in a square, and they're phased, and they can switch directions on each corner of the array.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually heard the DX Commander talking about this on one of his videos. He was building a setup like this with 4 verticals in his field where he does his antenna testing, where he builds the DX Commander and everything. And Callum was talking about doing this in this field, and that makes sense. So then you could switch your driven element, basically, is what you're saying, from one side to the other to change the direction of the antenna.
Yeah, the science behind it is that it basically electrically lengthens or shortens the antenna depending on which side is driven.
Hold on a second. Hey, Shay, what do you mean the volume disparity is pretty high? I mean, I'm really loud and he's quiet, or he's loud and I'm quiet? Please explain that to me. Let's see what he says.
There's no winning.
Roger's asking me if I have video of the tower repair. No, I don't, Roger. I don't have that. I love how that we're not talking about that tonight.
Right.
So tell me, Shay, which is the problem? Is he too loud or am I too loud? Or are they the same? I can turn mine up too. I got him. You're saying you hear him great now, so he's loud, I'm quiet. Okay, we can fix that. This is the problem when you do this. There's no fast way of getting messages back and forth because the video's delayed. So, all right. So all right, we're going to check this out. He's got this box. This is pretty cool. You sent me some videos. I'm going to try to play them and display them on the screen while we're talking about them. Let's go to Messenger. You sent it to me in Messenger.
Yeah, so the one I did was the single pull double throw method.
Is the one that says how to wire a phased array with 2 SPDT relays?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the video you want to see first. Let me just hit pause, and I'll get this on the screen. All right. It's on there. Now let me just get it where people can see it.
In the meantime, I'm going to grab my control cable and pull it out so I can turn this box on for y'all.
Okay. All right, I got it. Now, you guys should be able to see that on the right side when it comes up on the screen. This is not used for working satellites, Don. All right, good. I have it on the screen. People will be able to see this video. I'm going to play this video for you right now, and you guys should be able to hear this, I think. No, you're not getting the audio from this. All right, you're gonna have to explain this video. Do you have the YouTube feed up? Because you can't see this on the Zoom call.
No, I don't. But give me a second. I will.
I can change. Let me just make sure this doesn't totally blow us out of the water when I hit that.
File your taxes 100%.
Let me do that. I'm gonna have to mute this. Give me 1 second here. I'll have it up because that video's went past everything. But okay, but I can basically explain it. So with the two relays, if you pull up the picture, Michael, it'll be a lot easier to explain.
All right, hold on. I'm going to do that right now. All right, let's see. Let me turn this off. No,
and we have power.
This is the one I want to do. All right. I have it on the screen now. You can see it, right?
Yes.
All right. You should be able to see it right now without any problem.
So let me explain the wiring before we start this video.
Okay.
'Cause it looks like a hodgepodge of mess. So basically, there's a single pole, 3-position switch. It's a Carling's electronics switch. It's a 240 volt switch, actually. It works perfectly fine on 12. Anyway, the center pin on that switch is the main power for the entire switch, which is connected to that power supply.
Right.
And then the ground is connected to the first and second relays. They're just jumped together.
Right.
And then after that, there's going to be power on that second relay on that one position. So when we get there, I'll have you pause it.
I'm trying to make this bigger so people can see it better.
All right. So what I'm testing here, go ahead and pause the video, Michael.
Okay.
So what I'm testing here is you'll see that these yellow jumpers and the white jumpers. So there's two SO239 connectors that are tied together and then jumped off into the relays. The first yellow jumper is going to the normally open position on relay number 1, and then it's being jumped on relay number 2 to normally open. And then on the other SO239, two other SO239 connectors, they're jumped together as well. They're white. And then one jumper goes to the first relay at normally closed, and then the other relay, it goes to the feed. So when the and then the green is for your in. That's why there's a green one there. So when relay number 1 is normally, and relay number 1 and relay number 2 are normally closed, only the white side jumpers are hot. Now, when you switch it and to the other side, the yellow wires are hot. And then when the switch is in the middle, the video demonstrate this. When the switch is in the middle, both relays are hot, which is giving you a broadside pattern. So you have your two end fire directions, and then you have your broadside pattern. It's more of an egg shape than it is a true broadside. But you do get off of like a vertical 1.5 to 1.5 dB a gain, depending on ground. There's a bunch of circumstances, but that's a good estimate. And if you play the video, Michael, there should be, if you look at the meter as a switch through, you should be able to see which ones have been tested, and that's how the switching on that works.
Okay, let me try to break this down for people. The description of the phase system is using 4 antennas and changing which one is the actual one you're sending your signal to. If you notice in the picture, there are 5 SO239s. The 4 on the right go to antennas. Each one would go to a different antenna, correct, Grant?
Negative. So in this system, it's only a 2-element system. So one of the SO239 connectors on both sides go to the antenna, and then the delay line gets tied between those. So when you switch it, it's being delayed on whatever side for directionality. And then
what is the purpose of delaying the signal?
So that is where you're getting your front to back end gain, because that is essentially electrically lengthening or shortening the antenna. It's more lengthening. It acts more like a reflector than it does a driven element or a director. I mean, so it's more acting like a reflector than anything else.
This is so complicated in my mind, it's not even funny, but it's not your fault.
It was complicated for me too, Michael, but it took me a couple of weeks of just hardcore just reading.
Right.
There's a really good website. If you Google WNFR phased verticals, it'll be a moneysmith.com link. And then if you go there, it actually has the schematic that I use. Not the same relays, not the same boxes, but the schematic is essentially the same. You can wire it any way you want.
All right, let's see. What was the website you went to? It was
W4NFR, and you type in phased verticals, then it should be a moneysmith.com link.
Ah, there it is. There it is. I found it. So this is the guy?
That's the guy that I use his schematic for.
Okay.
And then there should be a phase array link with the schematic there somewhere.
Oh, well, if you want to learn how to make salad and steamed shrimp, this is a good place to go.
Here, I'll do this. Let me go. I'll have to mute this as soon as it pulls up. It's his schematic for. Okay. All right, let me do this. Let me drop this into the YouTube chat.
Okay.
There's a link in the YouTube chat.
Oh, I don't think you can post links in the chat unless I make you an admin. That can be done very easy.
We'll see if it does it. Don't know if it's stuck or not.
I don't see it there.
I'm trying to read my small screen.
Andy says he gets it now. That's good. I'm on the website here. What's the word I'm looking for in this? All these links he's got here. It's amazing how many links he's got. I don't know what.
So at the top of the page, it states 2-element phase vertical system. Chrisman phasing by W4NFR. It was written back in 2011.
Am I in the right place? W4NFR.
Yeah, you're on the right place. It's just you don't have the right link.
Oh. Let me go just to moneysmith.com and his call sign. We'll try that.
Back out of that and see if you should just pop up.
What's the link supposed to be?
2-element phase verticals. Two-element phase vertical.
There it is. It's about
there
the
you go.
Sixth one down.
That's
there
it.
It is. All right, we got it. So this is how he did it for verticals.
Yeah, the same applies for dipoles.
All right. So So when you do this with dipoles, the reason you're doing this is to change basically the direction of your signals, which are broadside to the dipole. You're changing the direction it goes in. Correct? That's the point of this.
Correct. That's the basis of it. Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. I knew I was kind of getting it, but it didn't quite hit me why you do this and what the point is, because this looks like more stuff than I did in high school. You know, this is so complicated. I'm looking at this schematic. I kind of know what it all means, but it's hard to figure it out. You know, for somebody that didn't do it, you've done the work. So you're building this box in order to do this. There's nothing on the market that does this now. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, there is, but with everything, it's cheaper to do it yourself. And a lot of the boxes on the market, they don't do the Chrisman method. They use another method that uses 75 ohm coax,
Right.
and we'll stay off that because it can get quite complicated. With the Chrisman method, it's fairly easy to do. You can also do it with a manual switch. I got one here somewhere, right here. Here's my manual switch. So you can also do it with a manual switch. Now you're not going to get the broadside, but if you look at this manual switch, Michael,
Right.
so this is your common right here,
Right.
and then you would
Wait a
have your
minute. Hold on a second.
80.
This isn't going on YouTube right now. Let me switch screens on YouTube so people can see what you're doing here. Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
No, I'm looking at the YouTube feed. It's not there. I'm looking at you on. I see you on Zoom. That's. I got to click that. There you are. Okay, you're on it now. I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to hide my view again, so you got the full screen. Hide self view. All right, you got the full screen now. So go ahead. Show people what you're talking about.
So you can do it manually with just a couple T connectors, and I prefer the rotary switches because you have more space. Your
Right.
coax isn't so tied up like you would on a flat switch.
Right.
But you have your common in, so that's where your tuner or radio, whatever. You would want to really use an L match because the system's actually like 1.7, so an L match would make it 1-to-1. But your 84-degree lines would come in on both sides here. Let me move my hand.
Right.
And then your 71-degree delay, and it's opposite. So if it's switched to this side, this one is the direction. If it's switched to this side, it's this side's the direction. So you're not getting your bi-directional, but you are getting directionality out of just a simple manual switch.
Okay.
But if you're lazy like me and want to sit in the shack, you can go to a switch box like this. So right now I have this LED coded. So your blue LED on my box would be your broadside. And then if I popped it over, there's your one direction, and then 2 clicks over is another direction. So that allows me, before I go and he's weak here, but is he stronger there? If he's not the loudest there, is he the loudest there? And I can pick and choose where the signal's coming from and where is it the loudest, at least to my setup and my radio system.
Right.
And that's real simple. This is a simple setup. If you know how to solder basic electronics, the control box is the easiest part.
So how are you powering those LEDs, and how come they're not causing interference?
So
is that being powered by an external power supply?
So it's being powered actually by my PowerWorks solid state my PowerWorks switching power supply, which the PowerWorks switching power supply for the money is by far hands down the best 30 amp power supply you can buy in that price range, in my opinion.
But the LEDs don't cause any issue on any RF interference?
Nope, I've had no issues with RF.
Good.
I've tested it with the radio on, and I run a really sensitive radio, so I don't have any issues. Don't cheap out on the LEDs. That's like the big thing. The cheaper you go, usually the crappier they are.
Right.
Spend a little bit of money and get some decent LEDs, and you shouldn't have any issues.
Okay. All right, so Ed is saying that he did this for 3 verticals. He set up a system like this for 3 different verticals. Yeah, the delay line is band specific, he said.
It is. It is.
So, okay.
It'll all be band specific. You would have to cut it depending on what band you want. And then your spacing is also going to be band specific. You can't do a 20-meter phased array at 33 feet. It's just not going to work. You would do it at the quarter wave, which would be 16, 17 feet, something like that.
Okay.
So he's right.
That's interesting. That's very this is stuff my buddy Ziggy would get into this, because he goes by the 75 ohm ham. If you ever watched him on YouTube, check out the 75 ohm ham. You would like him. He does all kinds of stuff with 75 ohm cable. It's like what he lives for. And then I had another friend who put up a Delta loop. I forget, it wasn't a Delta loop. I forget. It looks like a Delta loop, but it has a 75 ohm cable that it's fed with to match the impedance to the radio, which is pretty interesting. So what brought you to want to build these things?
I wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to 40-meter antenna that was directional. That I don't have a tower. So what could I do to have a directional antenna with front to back to eliminate? Because we all hear them all the time. You have these Latin American stations that get on there that are 30 over 9. You're trying to work a guy who's right over the noise floor, and having something that you can switch the direction of and try to null out those signals really helps.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to show another video on here that you sent me, the second one. Let me just pause it and get it on the screen. I got you there. This is what I want. Think? Is that what I want? No? It's not. Wait. Yes, it is what I want. Let's move that up. There we go. Okay, so here's the other one. If you're looking at YouTube, I don't think you can see it unless... Oh, I got to share my screen again. Never mind. I'll fix that so you could see it too. Show self-view. All right, so you see the one I have up there now?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, good. So I will move this over to the right a little bit so people can still see you on the YouTube feed. And tell us what this is.
So this is a double pull, double throw method. Now, in my opinion, if you're doing a 40-meter delta loop, this would be the way to do it. Now, this one's set up for the Chrisman method, but you can just have the 2 connector. Wait, is it? No, it's not. So there is only 3 connectors. So you can use this method for the 75 ohm cables for like a delta loop. That's really what that one's for. Or if you just want the 2 directions, you could add in another SO239 and have just 2 directions. But in this setup, instead of just tying the hot ends of the coax,
right,
you're going to be tying in both the shield and the center conductor of the coax to the relay, and it's going to go for all the connectors. But the switching is pretty much the same concept, except we're leaving out one relay, and we're only having end fire on both sides.
Right. Now, Don is asking, is this like to switch from long path to short path? No, Don. This is to change directions of your signal on your antennas. So you don't have you're not stuck with one setup. Like I have 2 dipoles. Actually, I got a dipole and an end fed. My end fed goes east and then south. And my dipoles go north-northwest to south-southwest. That's the other end. It's an 80-meter off-center fed. And that's all they do. And they send the signal out broadside to the antenna. So basically, I'm east and west on the dipole, and I'm north and south on the end fed. That's the way mine are. And I'm stuck with that. I can't change them. Now, what Grant is doing here is taking multiple dipoles and being able to phase them to change the direction. So you could like have one dipole going north-south, one going east and west, and switch back and forth, correct?
No. They would have to be in the same line. So like say Europe, so you want to have you say that's who you talk to the most, so that's who you really want to talk to. So Don's actually kind of correct. If you have it oriented towards Europe, at least from Florida,
okay,
and then you have it selected where the antenna is firing towards Europe, and then the signal's weak, but you can flip it, and technically that's long path. So you got short path and you got long path. And you can figure out, hey, are they coming in stronger short? Or are they coming in stronger long path? Now, the other setup is the broadside, which is that blue LED on the screen right there, which that'll give you your egg shape, which will be your north-south, for example.
Gotcha. So in other words, say I got both these things running north and south. I got 2 dipoles, and they're 33 feet apart, you said? Is that how they have to be?
Yeah, for 40 meters, they're going to be 33 feet apart.
Okay, so when I make this, the one on one side, the driving force, or send a signal to that one, and it shoots this way, it's using the other one as a reflector?
Yes, essentially.
Okay. All right, and then if I make this one the driving force, this one would be the reflector. And that's what you're doing. You're changing the phase, which one you're actually transmitting on, actually. Correct?
Yeah, there's a lot more in-depth videos on YouTube with people that put these on oscope, so you can see the actual link, the wave of the phase.
Right.
With a little bit of searching on YouTube, you guys can find that. They explain it a whole lot better than I can, because I don't have that equipment to do it.
And you sent me this picture too. What is this?
So that picture is going to be the waterproof connector. Water, I wouldn't consider 100% waterproof. I'd always wrap your connectors, but
Right.
your water resistant connector. It's a 3-pin connector. So you have an essentially on the top here, you got your ground and then your 2 hot wires which go to the relays. And you need to remember when you're setting this up which power wire goes to what relay.
Right. That looks like an XLX, XLA, well, XLR connector, like they have in the microphones. Is that what it
Similar.
is? Yeah.
It's some Amazon $16 deal for you get a chassis connector and the cable connector. I bought
Right.
2 sets. So on the switch box, it also has the
Nice.
connector here.
Okay.
And then there's your end for your coax, your ends for your antennas, and then your ends for your delay line.
Okay, good. I get it. I get what you're doing there. That makes sense. All right, so have you tried this out yet? You got it built.
I have.
The first
I
time you sent
haven't.
me the videos with all the jumper wires, but now you got them actually built in the box. And you mentioned on the video, these are some 3D printed pieces you made for it, I guess?
So yeah, you can find those on I think printables. They're the templates for an SO239 chassis connector, which I'll tell you right now makes the world of difference when using a drill press to drill them out. And then that's the box. That's how it's all soldered in and wired in. Now, those specific relays are very difficult to use. You have to do some modifications to the relay housings to get everything to fit. The cheaper solution to that is to use these 40 amp 12 volt automotive relays that you can find on Amazon for dirt cheap. They're $5 for 2.
Wow.
If you get a pack of 10 of them, they're like $2 a piece. And it's the same concept on wiring it up. And once you start getting into it, you'll understand what I mean by that.
That is so small compared to the ones you got from DX Engineering.
Yes, yes.
That's
You're also
nice.
talking about the DX Engineering relays kind of threw me through a challenge because they're gated relays. They're not just a wiper style relay.
Okay.
They're both tied together. So when you do it, if you look in the close up of that picture, you can see on that left side there, the jumper wire, the wire that it jumps across both terminals. There's a reason for that.
Let's see if I can get it any bigger. No, that's smaller. No, that's as big as I can get it.
But
Steve,
that essentially is so I can get even travel of the signal to the connector. I did it on both, though it would still work. I didn't want to leave anything open for RF
Right.
to potentially jump over.
what wiring is that? Number 8 solid copper wire you put to
It's
the 239?
number 12.
12. Okay, number 12. Oof. That had to be tough. Tough to move
It
that
was.
around because it's so stiff. That's the kind of ground wire I used to use at work when I was grounding telephone terminals. Well, not the terminal. The terminal we use number 6 ground wire, but this is half that thickness, but it's still stiff. That's hard to work with. But I give you credit, man. That's a nice job considering you didn't really have much room to move around in there. Did you put it together first and then screw everything down?
So I screwed in the connectors first, and
Right.
then I stuck the first relay, which is going to be on the right side of this picture, and I soldered everything into that relay, and then I stuck the other relay in because this box is not that big. If you look at the size on my hand compared to the
Right.
box,
That's about 4 inches by 4 inches by 2 inches, right? Or
yeah,
3?
4.5 by 4 by, I think it's 2.5.
Yeah. Wow. Good
Not
job.
much space, and it's hard to put a soldering iron in that tiny space.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a metal box too, right?
It's an aluminum box, and the reason why is because the aluminum box ties the shields together.
I was just going to say
and
that it's connected. It's conductive, so you don't have to worry about running wires to the grounds and to the shields. Yeah, because it's all connected on the same thing.
If you don't have to, unless you're running power and getting RF back. And if you're getting RF back, it's real simple. You can open this puppy up, find you a clean spot, drill a hole, put a ground lug in it, and send a ground strap to a copper rod in the ground, and that'll eliminate your RF problem.
Right. By the way, let me just show you. This is I'm going to show you the view of my tower because I got these antennas from you. So I said, oh, he wants to see this. Let me hide my view over here. Oh, I can't hide it. Hold on.
I did see the picture of the hawk sitting on top of the rotator.
Yeah, isn't that nice? And the two Wemos. And I end mounted them. You had them mounted in the middle, and I put them on the end so they're sticking out. That cross arm is super strong. It's fiberglass, which is good because they won't interfere with each other. And believe it or not, the preamps are needed. Oh, by the way, let me hide my self view on Zoom so it doesn't confuse people. All right, yeah. I was trying to get it so I can show you. I can show it right here. Here's the. Now I gotta show my view again. I need a producer. That's what I need. I need a producer because a producer will be able to do this better. All right, this is a lousy shot right now. That's the wide angle shot. You can see it, right? Let me zoom in on it. Here it is.
There we go.
Right here, I can actually zoom in closer and turn on the light. Here, I love these cameras. These are Reolink cameras that I have. This one's mounted on my roof, and it's powered by AC so that I don't have to worry about it timing out. Move to the left. Now I'll turn the light on. I'll zoom out a little bit. And there you can see them. You see how they're mounted there?
Yeah, you're a little high on the picture there.
Oh, okay. Let me, that's funny because here I can see it good.
There you go.
Yeah, now you get a good look at them. That's what they look like. And they work really well. They work really well. And now I have another piece of coax going up there that I'm not using right now in case one of the coaxes go bad. I can just swap it out. I originally had that 12-foot, 70-centimeter antenna about 1.5 feet away from the Wemo 70-centimeter, and they were desensing each other or something. They were screwing it up. So I got to get rid of that 12-foot antenna. I might still use that for something else. I was going to try to do EME with it, but on 100 watts, you really can't do much with EME. You need an amplifier. So,
well, the big gun stations will hear you.
Who?
The big guns will hear you.
Oh yeah, they might hear me. I want to try to hear them. If I hear somebody, the nice thing is, and I'll get into this someday with everybody on my YouTube channel. The EME guys have a website that they go to and they post when they're doing EME and what frequencies they're on. And you can go there and find out. And 90% of them are all on 70-centimeter. They're all on that. That's what they get on. So, I could just point. And what's nice with the SAT box, I don't know if you know this. Camera just went back to the monitoring point. That's what happened there. Let's go back to my camera. And, oh, wow, it worked. Oh, okay. But I don't have you on my screen now. Let me go to Zoom call. That's better. All right, you're back now. And then I'll hide myself over here. See, people, if you want to be the guy doing YouTube, you got to be ambidextrous. You got to have 8 legs and 10 hands to keep track of everything you got to do to get this to work. And ask Don. Captain Don helped me. We were, all day yesterday, we were messing around with it. We were getting weird echoes and weren't getting the sound right. And I was like, damn, what am I going to do? So the only thing I think of is, by the way, I just want to go to YouTube real quick and hear what this sounds like. I have the sound off on YouTube, so it's going to be delayed. You're going to hear an echo. Captain Don helped me. We were all day yesterday. We were messing around. All right, that sounds good. Now we got to see when Grant talks if it sounds.
I don't think I've said much in the last couple minutes.
All right, let's see. I'll fast forward. All right, that sounds good. That's me listening to me. Now we got to see when Grant hears the double thing too, I'm sure.
I do.
I don't think I said much in the last couple of minutes.
That sounded good. I heard you when you said I didn't think I said much in the last couple of minutes. It came in good. All right, so if we want to do this, do you have this all written up somewhere where you can give out how to do it, or are you keeping it to yourself and you're going to build the boxes and sell them? What do you want to do with it?
Well, the information's publicly available. The schematic, I mean, I had you pull it up. It's easy to find. Now, if someone wants me to build them a box, they can email me if they don't want to do it themselves. And if you have any questions, my QRZ page is open. My email's good. Shoot me an email. I'll be glad to help you out. It is a project. It takes quite a bit of patience.
Grant's call sign is Kilo Yankee 6 Golf. Kilo Yankee 6 Golf. You can find him on QRZ. Anybody got any questions for Grant? Oh, okay. What do we got here? Let's see. Ed is saying that John, YouTube channel from the Ham Shack, did a good video on this phased array. Okay. Well, what YouTube channel is that, Ed? I don't know what you mean by John YouTube channel. What was his YouTube channel name? I'd give that out if you got it. Captain Don says, "Cool stuff, Grant. Thanks for sharing." What's nice about this is you're doing it with dipoles, but you could actually do it with verticals too. That you could do it, and you could do 2, 3, 4 verticals or 2 dipoles the way you're doing it, right?
Yeah. So the biggest thing about tuning the whole thing is making sure that the impedance on both antennas match. That is the key to it. You need them to be as similar as possible. Nothing in this world is perfect. We know that the littlest thing with antennas can go wrong, and it will go wrong, but you got to figure out how to make them match. And once you got them matched, you're pretty much good to go.
All right, cool. By the way, what have you done with yourself lately? Did you move yet? Are you still working at HRO in Winter Springs? What's going on?
Still working at HRO. Planning out my next move here.
All right.
And just kind of seeing where the wind takes me.
Well, Grant, I totally appreciate this. For you guys watching, Grant emailed me and said that he had this information. He wanted me to see it. I let him post it on my Facebook group. So if you remember my Facebook group, the videos that I was just showing you are on my Facebook group, the links to them. So if you want to go watch them and learn from Grant directly, you can do that. You can email Grant, go to his Kilo Yankee 6 Golf QRZ page, and he is good there. All right, we got a question from Don. What does it say? Is there any way to know if your end-fed half wave is going long path or short path? I'm newer ham than Mike, so sorry for the dumb question. It wasn't a dumb question, Don. Okay, first of all, are you using this on an end-fed half wave, or you're building this strictly for dipoles?
You can't use an end-fed. Some people have said they've done it with end-fed half waves. I say I don't know. Until I see them and understand the theory behind that, I doubt it. But is there a way to see if you're going long path or short path? Sure. The biggest difference that you'll see is the people with directional antennas. For example, I got a tri-band Yagi at 40-ish feet on some military mast poles on top of my back balcony. And if I'm talking long path into, say, Europe, and I'm talking to a dude in Europe with a dipole, I'm talking to him via long path, so his signal is traveling long path.
Okay.
That's the only way I could tell you that you would know you were talking into long path.
All right, Ed's telling us that Mike 0 Oscar Papa X-ray did a nice video on how to cut the delay line. Is there anything special you need to know about the delay line and how to cut that to the right length?
So with delay lines, you want to look for the X, right? You want to get the X as minimum as possible. Typically, that's going to be about 1.7 is about as low as you're going to get it. You don't want to cut, and you just want to cut short sections off because it's a calculated length. And it's the same. It's the same thing with the 84-degree lines. You want to. It's a specific frequency you're looking for, and you want to cut it to the maximum resonance there.
Okay, so the X you're talking about, is that what appears on a Smith chart where you see across the line?
So you can look on like Rig Experts, and instead of looking at the chart, it'll actually tell you the X factor, the Z factor, and the R factor.
Yeah,
you want to
I've
look
seen
at
that.
those factors, and that's where you want to cut it from. Actually, there's a calculator to measure these. It's the it is on the VA7ST website, the Chrisman phasing calculator, which you can go in there and you'll need to know your coax velocity factor. So like RG213 is 66% or 0.66. And then you can go in there and punch in that number. So we'll do it I'm doing it on my computer.
Okay.
And we're punching it in for the calculation at 7.150, which is dead middle of the 40-meter band, at RG213 at 0.66 velocity factor. So for the 71-degree phasing line, it should be 17.906 feet or 5.458 meters with a resonance at 9.063 megahertz.
And that's on 75 ohm cable.
And no, that is 50 ohm cable.
Oh, that is 50 ohm cable. Okay. Very
And then your
interesting.
84-degree line would need to be 21.184 feet or 6.457 meters and cut to 7.661 megahertz.
You guys taking notes? Because this is real complicated to me. I'm not. Some of this stuff's going over my head. I admit it. I'm a ham 4 years, so all this stuff to me is new. So, yeah. Colin, MM, 0, Oscar, Papa, X-ray did a bunch of different degree and delay line testing. All right, so that's a nice source they can go to. Look up MM0, Oscar, Papa, X-ray, and he's got it on his channel. Wow. So, Grant, this is something that I think we could have used 3 hours on, but we've already used up an hour. We've already used up an hour.
The big thing, he's a really good help because he also has the parts list to do it. And there's a difference between quarter wave phasing and eighth wave phasing. MM0 OPX, he also goes into the difference on cutting the delay lines for the eighth wave phasing as well, which you can do. But you'd have to watch his videos because I don't have that math in front of me.
I don't have that math in my head. Ed's saying, good job, Grant. You did good. Grant's a good guy. He took good care of me with those Wemo antennas, and I thank you much for that because they really came in handy. I remember one time I was at HRO, and you mentioned to me that I needed better antennas. And then he tells me he's got these for sale, and I was like, I have to buy these. These are like, because they're very expensive, and they come from Germany. They're not local. There's not a local company that makes them. I don't even know if DX Engineering or anybody sells them. Do they? Or you got to buy direct from Germany? I think you.
I think DX does carry them.
Oh, okay. I know they have the M squared setup. I got a friend that bought the N squared setup a year ago, last Dayton. So he's had it for almost 2 years and never took him out of the box. And he's finally starting to get into it. And I'm hoping he's got a rotor already. Now he's buying other 70 centimeter and 2 meter antennas to use. And I said, get those M squared out of the box. Use those, But hey, I do need the preamp on RS-44 though. To get RS-44 good, I need that preamp. But RS-44 is 900 miles up. That's why. So,
yes.
All right, man. Well, Grant, thank you very much. Oh, wait. All right. Don is saying I'm still not understanding it all, but stuff like this gets my brain spinning. Then I go down another rabbit hole and spend more money. Well, so far he's not selling them, but when he starts selling them, then you can go to him and he'll make it for you. If you
I can make it. If you really want one, email me. I can make them. It's gonna take me a little bit of time, but I can get it done. So don't expect a 2-day turnaround time. I do have kids. They're priority.
Oh, kids! What a pain. No, I'm only kidding. I got a dog now. That's the closest I come to having kids. I got a dog, and right now she's probably sitting in my recliner because she left the room. She was sitting next to me when I started, but she left the room now. But Grant, thanks a lot, man. I'm glad you came on. I'm glad we got to talk about this a little bit. I got to see how dumb I am because some of this stuff is going right over my head. But it's always good to be open to learning new things and taking stuff in. And someday, when I worked for the phone company, they had this habit of sending me out to work on equipment I wasn't trained on. So I had to find out how to do it. I had to get the manual out. I had to read the manual, or I had to call tech support and find out. Well, what ended up happening was then they say, "Hey, Mike, you want to go to school for the DDM 1000?" I'm like, "No, I know that like the back of my hand. I've used it so much, so I didn't want to go to the school." But then they start coming up with new stuff. When I left the phone company, I retired in 2010. My main job was in special services, and I worked on police 911 systems and fiber optics going to cell towers. Because the dirty little secret, no matter what cell company you have, you're going through the local phone company fiber optics. It's not all owned by AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon. Everything's spread out. There's all different people that control different points of the circuit. But me being in Verizon, my job was to put in those fiber optics that the cell company would hook their equipment to. So I had to test that. Also, the 911 systems, that sounds easy. You dial 911, the police answer. It is so complicated how they actually work, and they're all in police departments. So half the guys I worked with were either drink.
A bank throw a garbage can in there.
Complicated.
What was
in the
that?
bathroom there.
Family's outside the door. They always do this when I'm busy.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so what happened was guys didn't want to work in police departments because they drank during the day or they did drugs during the day. And I was the goody two-shoes that I didn't want to lose my job and lose my pension over a joint. So I never smoked pot or did anything while I was working. But anyway, as a result, I got all the jobs in the police departments, and it was a blast. I had a great time. And I had to learn that stuff, and I had every tech support guy for every manufacturer of every piece of 911 equipment was in my phone. People thought I was smart. I wasn't smart. I was smart enough to know who to call to get the help I needed when I didn't know how to fix something. And then I would learn more. So the stuff was over my head, but it would keep coming back. I would keep years after working on something and learning from a tech support guy, I'd get to the next job, have the same problem, and I didn't have to call anybody because I knew now how to fix it. And that was great. That was how I learned. As long as I had a book in front of me that I could look up the answer, I was able to do whatever they gave me to do. It might take me a little bit longer because I wasn't so up on it, but that's how you learn. So being exposed to this by Grant is great for me because someday I'm going to come up to a situation where I'm going to say, "Hey, I remember that thing Grant was telling me about. Ooh, let's ask him or let's see." And I could call him, or I can go to his video or his equipment and get an idea. So that's what you do in ham radio. We tinker. We always tinker. I never leave well enough alone. I get something and I said, I can make this a little bit better if I did A, B, and C. So I do A, B, and C. I might break it or I might screw it up, but I'm learning in the process. So that's how I look at it. So thank you, Grant, for coming on tonight and exposing me to this amazing little system to get a simple dipole to work even better than it's made to work by using multiple dipoles and switches and stuff. So thank you very much for that, Grant. And remember, everybody, go to Grant's QRZ, Kilo Yankee 6 Golf. Kilo Yankee 6 Golf is his QRZ. And you can ask him, send him an email, and he'll help you out. All right? All right, Grant, thank you. You have a great night, sir. Great talking to you.
You as well.
You got anything else you want to say?
If you're wanting to do it. It's a rabbit hole. I saw a comment come up that my brain's spinning. It's a rabbit hole. You're exactly right. It's a rabbit hole. Have fun doing it, though.
Yep. All right, Grant. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'll say good night.
No problem.
Now. You have a great day.
You too.
All right, everybody. Well, that was Grant Mosley, Kilo Yankee 6 Golf. And we thank you, Grant, for coming. When's the ISS going to come back? Well, if you looked at my Facebook page, you would have seen that I posted let me go back to my Facebook group. Don sent me this earlier today, but oh God, I enlarged the screen. Let me shrink the screen down back to normal so I can read it. I believe not until the 17th. The way you want, if you want to know about what the ISS radios and everything, go to ariss.com. I'm going to type that in. I'm going to show you ariss.com. Is it .com or dot? Let me just type ARISS, make sure I get the right page. ariss.org. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Okay, let me get this on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's ariss.org. Here it is right here. You go here, and on the top here, let's see, we have news, sitemap, news, international. Here it is, current status of the ISS stations. You click on that, and this gives you a detailed rundown of what exactly is going on. So today is the 16th. So this was last updated on the 15th. So this isn't accurate, actually. But you can go to the AMSAT status page. This is the AMSAT status page. And you can see ISS FM. The last time it was heard was 15:31 UTC today. So that was a long time ago. That was 5 hours ago. But now it's down because they're doing, what is it? They're doing a spacewalk. I must have had a squirrel moment. I missed that. Yeah, maybe you did. But that's okay. That's why we're here. Everybody helps everybody. All right, boys and girls, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy that? It was, I have to admit, that was a lot of stuff over my head. I wasn't following all of it. I got enough of it to understand what it's all about. And Roger's got a message. He's got a note here. He said, RS-44 is a problem for me, seemingly more so than a few months ago. I can weekly hear folks, but not make contacts. But what did I get you on today, Roger? What satellite was I talking to you on today? I have it on here still. No, actually, I got SO50. FO29 was up today. It was on. SO50, I made a bunch of contacts on. 5 contacts on SO50 today. We talked, what were we talking on, Roger? The last contact we made. I think it was on the ISS. But RS-44, the reason RS-44 is tough is because it's 900 miles up. So people say, oh, you could talk to a satellite with 5 watts. Trust me, do at least 60 watts if you're going to try to do RS-44. And if you have the preamps on the receive, use a preamp. Even with these WeMo antennas, I have to use the preamp to get a good signal to hear. Sometimes I don't even hear myself, but people hear me and they talk to me and we have a conversation. You have to also have your RIT set correctly. The RIT fluctuates every now and then. You might have to fine tune it. I believe on RS-44, I'll tell you what I have my RIT on RS-44 is set for negative 1.76. 1.76 is what I have it set at. One of the harder ones, let me see, I think it was MO122. Let me see. That's the MO122. That's a good satellite too, but I had to make my RIT is negative 2.500. So you got to play with your RIT, and then you got to go to your. You got to make sure you got a preamp because even with these nice WeMo antennas, it's really tough to get the preamp. Anyway, boy, I've been talking a long time tonight. You guys have a good night. We got 7 still watching. We had more before, but thank you everybody for following me. Do you realize I am under 100 more subscribers than I have? We have right now, how many subscribers I got? I have 909 subscribers. You know what that means? I need 91 more people, and I hit 1,000. I can't wait to hit 1,000. I think I'm going to do something amazing when I hit 1,000. I'm going to figure out a way to do a contest and maybe give away a radio. Huh? You like them apples? That's a possibility. Maybe an HT that's programmed for satellites already. Not saying it's going to be, but maybe we might do that. So do me a favor. Get me to 1,000, everybody. And then we'll have a special podcast one night, and we'll do a drawing, and we'll figure out who wins the radio. Because I definitely have a radio I can give away. So keep that in mind. Might even do, no antennas. No antennas too. But a radio. I'll give away a radio, and a good radio that you can use on satellites with a headset. Huh? You want it? You want that? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for coming. We have been live for over an hour, and I give away an IC 9700. Do I look like I'm a millionaire, Ed? If I could give away a 9700, I'd buy a second one for me. But yeah, IC 9700s are the bomb, man. You want to do satellites? That's the radio. I bought it because it has a satellite mode. Do you know I've never, ever used that satellite mode? I don't need it with the sat box. The sat box does everything. It's a great little tool. All right. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, remember what I always say. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me. All right. This is KO4 PDI wishing you a wonderful new year. I'm not going to stop saying that soon. It's already the 15th. Come on. And don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me. KO4 PDI 73, everybody. I'm clear.